welcome to YouTube. Yes, a place where you can find more of these in people's backgrounds than anywhere else on Earth. But not out here, let's get rid of that. I'm Tab, I hope you're all keeping well. Yeah, last couple of videos have been a car show or two. Hope you enjoyed them. If you subscribed off the back of those, thank you very much, hugely appreciated. But in this video, I want to get a little bit more serious. As you know, this channel has a significant leaning towards McLaren. I'm a huge fan. And I want to discuss something that's been playing on my mind. Yeah, we're going to take a look inside my head here. Don't worry, not a lot going on. But I think McLaren have subtly and rather sneakily abandoned an entire market segment. Yeah! In this video, I'm going to discuss just why I think that. So do get comfortable, pull up a chair, get your dog by your side, your cat on your lap, your guinea pig, some popcorn, whatever it may be. Don't eat the guinea pig. And let's take a little look. So let's go. If you know your McLarens well, you will know that there used to be three distinct brackets in which the cars sat, namely the Sports, the Super, and the Ultimate. This car here, the 570S, sits in the Sports series. The 570S, as you know, produced since about 2015, I believe, through to 2019. Loads of variants in this series. The last hurrah, I believe, was the 620R, the £250,000 worth of bonkersness, kind of based on that, but with a lot more power, a lot more lightweight, pretty much a track beast. And that was this year. The Super Series, cars like the 720S, just a lot more power, a lot more grunt. And then, of course, the Ultimate Series, cars like the Senna and the elusive P1. There is one more here, the Mclaren Gt, which kind of sits on its own, no particular bucket per se. And I've seen more rocking horses being ridden by Darth Vader on the motorway than I have GTs in real life. So I can't see that one being around for much longer. Maybe it's something they tried, maybe it's something they will leave behind. Right, so looking at the series and the price ranges, so the 570S list price is 150k, right? The 720S is a 215k, thereabouts. And then, of course, the Ultimate Series, I'm not really focusing on that right now, but, you know, these are cars that you've got to be particularly well endowed in the bank account area to be able to afford. Alas, not me. Now, I have said before, you might be looking at me thinking, yeah, he's very lucky to have a 570S, which I do feel I am. I feel pretty blessed. It's a great privilege to be able to drive one. But I do stretch myself to be able to afford it, right? I mean, kind of this level, Porsche 911 Turbo S, a Taycan Turbo S if you're looking at EVs, you know, that kind of 150k is pretty much all I can afford, right? I couldn't go much higher. I do have to stretch myself to be able to get into one of these. If I wanted to go much higher, it would probably involve living in a tent in the... actually, that's a good idea. Anyway, so where is this video going? Right. This car, the competition for this car is the 911 Turbo S and probably the R8 Performance Plus model, right? About 150k. Now, the new car that is coming out supposedly to replace this is the Artura, which you've probably seen by now if you know your McLarens. Now, this car is delayed. I've actually spoken to somebody that works at McLaren in the engineering department, who shall remain nameless, but they had 4 cars, I believe, going out recently to Arizona for hardcore testing. But they are having some problems, I believe, with the hybrid system and the electrics on this. So that is a cause of the delay, and I think they just want to ensure that it's going to work properly before they bring it to market. But I'm very excited about this car. Now, the Artura, the price bracket for this car is 185k. All right, so a lot higher than the 570S to the tune of £35,000 higher, which is a significant deposit. So there technically is no 570S replacement. Now you look at the Artura and you look at the specs of it and you kind of work out where it sits. So as you know, the Mclaren Artura is a V6 hybrid. It is about 670 brake horsepower. Now, in terms of V6 hybrids, there's not a lot more on the marketplace right now in that space. This is pretty interesting because the V6, that hot V that they've built to provide the power plant to this car, the Artura, is pushing the boundaries a little bit. It's something pretty unique. Now, you'll know about hot Vs if you look at, for example, the Merc V8. That is a wonderful engine with the turbo sat in the middle of the V. This engine, the V6, is pretty interesting, right? So if you look at it from an engineering perspective, it's almost flat, like a boxer engine, right? Like you'd see in a Porsche or a Subaru, but it's not. It's got 120 degree V with the turbos in the middle. We could go into a lot of detail here, so I can actually geek out a little bit. I do know that it is an undersquare engine versus an oversquare engine, like you'd see in that, which allows for higher compression, longer cylinders, and a shorter engine to free up more room for the hybrid system. But anyway, I digress a little here. So the Artura, I would say, sits above where this is. Competition wise, you might be looking at the Ferrari 296 GTB. That's 230k, has about 200 more horsepower-ish than the Artura. Artura 670, I think the 296 is going to be approximately 820-ish, thereabouts. Honestly, I think those people that are going to be buying the Ferrari 296 GTB hybrid aren't going to be buying anything else. Ferrari fans are a particularly loyal bunch. That's what I found anyway. So they're going to be sticking with that without doubt. McLaren, I don't think are going to win anyone over to the Artura from Ferrari with that. So now let's talk about the market positioning, right? Because this is where I feel it's all gone a bit wrong. So people that are looking at Porsche 911 Turbo S's, that kind of area, R8s, there's nothing else from McLaren they can really kind of choose right now. They're pretty much stuck. They could maybe stretch even further up to an Artura, but there is nothing at the moment in the McLaren stable that is replacing the Sports Series 570S that I know about. There might be something further down the line, but right now that is a complete market gap, which for me is pretty frustrating. Now, another thing here, if you look at the numbers for the Artura, it is very much a source of depression for me. That if you look at the finance, let's do that now. So on the screen right now, you should be able to see the indicative finance example for the McLaren Artura, and this is freely available online and from McLaren, their dealer network. It may be a little bit different if you go through a broker, but as you can see, it is pretty spendy, coming in at 2k a month on the monthlies there. And the deposit is an eye-wateringly large 46,500 quid, which is a significant uptick over the 570S and indeed the 720S. I heard recently that it was possible to get hold of a 720, a new one from stock admittedly, for 17k down, I believe thereabouts, and approximately 1,700 a month, so less than the Artura. You'll see the OTR price there is a little bit higher than 185, so I'm sure there's options ticked here. Interest charges, again, probably about what you'd expect, and quite a hefty GFE at the end of that, 114k. This is a spendy offering. There is absolutely no denying it at all. It is sitting way above and beyond where the 570S was, especially in terms of offers. Now, it goes without saying, yes, the Artura is a brand new car, so those offers aren't likely to be out there at this moment in time. But who knows, that may change as we move further through the life cycle of this car. Indeed, I kind of hope it does, because looking at this, I'm going to be selling one, if not both, of my kidneys in order to be able to get into one of these. One other thing to bear in mind here is the mileage per annum on this offer is only 5,000, so they really don't want you using this at all. Also, quite a hefty excess mileage charge of £1.20 per mile. So again, some negotiation to be taking place here. So I wanted to show you this, get your thoughts. Please do comment on this one. It's going to be quite interesting and hopefully evoke a lot of conversation around this car. Now, back to the vid. Now, I do hope it's not because McLaren do not want to play in this space anymore. We know that the further down the range you go, the lower the profit margins are, and the higher up the range you go, the more bonkers the profit margins are. At least that's my opinion. I can't prove it, but I would imagine that is the case. The exclusive high-end cars, high profit margin. And if they just found sort of playing in this space too much hassle, I hope that is not the case. I really do, because it's a great brand and a lot of us who stretch to get into one really do enjoy them, and I hope they can keep us entertained for many years to come. So McLaren, if you're watching and you've got any favours in you, I'm right here. But it could be the end of my McLaren journey, possibly, because when this is up for replacement in just under a year's time, at the moment anyway, there's nothing else that is going to sit in this series to replace it. So I might well be looking at the competition, and I hope I don't have to. I hope McLaren have something up their sleeve in order to be able to keep me as a McLaren owner. Now, the other thing which is looking pretty good at the moment is the residuals of these. I spoke about it in a couple of videos ago, 3 videos ago. The residuals of this are now very, very strong. In fact, increasing, which is great, because that could be the deposit bump that I need to get into an Artura, right? But right now, there is a gap in the portfolio, a huge gap, and a gap is an opportunity. We know Porsche, their 911 hybrid is in the works. It's an interesting one, that though, because it's a 911 with a hybrid system, so more weight, more batteries. Apparently it's keeping the same engine. I don't really see the point, to be honest. But do think about that, right? McLaren have left a huge opening in their portfolio, in their market positioning, for something to come in and take that. Now, I hope I can at some point get back into another McLaren. That would be great, that would be awesome. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy this, because it's still a fabulous car indeed. That's it for this one. Do have fun, take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.